Sup Nerds, Free 99 here, back with some more Pokepath TD. I've decided to take a break from Route 1-4 and decided to tackle Route 2-4 for the first time, and this is what I've come up with. So I'm finally doing what I wanted to do from the beginning, which is to use the fossil Pokemon. We've got every single fossil here, as well as Legion copying one of the fossils. Let's quickly go over them, because as you can see, they're not all fossils, but Kabutops fires projectiles to up to 2 enemies at once. Plus, they have their own unique item called the Dome Fossil. Increases critical hit by 5% for each fossil Pokemon on the team. Can only be used by them. So at 525, recharge of less than a second and a critical hit chance of 100%. I'm hoping they do quite a bit of damage here. That's what their range looks like. Legion is copying them. Obviously, they cannot use the Dome Fossil. So instead, they've got the Metal Powder on. They do 525 plus 263, which is about 750, close to 800 damage. They still have less than a second attack speed, so that's still good. 65% crit chance is still fine. And yeah, Armaldo here has the unique item Claw Fossil. They do 420 damage plus 147. Thanks to the Claw Fossil, increasing damage dealt by 5% for each fossil. They have less than 1 second attack speed. They're targeting high HP because of their critical ricochet. Critical projectiles ricochet between enemies and keep ricocheting as long as they remain critical. They do have 75% critical hit chance, which means 3 out of 4 chances they will crit and keep bouncing. And this could bounce indefinitely in theory, as long as we keep rolling a 1, 2, or 3 on a 4-sided dice. Next up, we have Bastiodon. 1,260 power is pretty huge. They deal in an area, which means any Pokemon caught in this area will take damage when they attack. They have Fossil Speed, which reduces recharge time by half a second for each Pokemon on the team. That is negative 3.5, I believe. They get the extra 0.42 because of the carbos that we are making them hold. So negative 4 seconds on a 6.30 is like 2.3 essentially. So it's pretty large, but they do deal a lot of damage and it is AoE. So there is the compromise on that. Dilly has 425 damage plus 106. Fossil Projectile shoots 1 more projectile for each fossil Pokemon on the team. Attacks slow the target for 2 seconds. So they're a bit of CC and they hit 7 Pokemon at the same time at a little over 500 damage. They do have a recharge time of 2 seconds. That's because of their AoE and slowing. Their critical hit doesn't really matter. 160 speed or 160 range is pretty big. And then they've got the Heartstone. This is just a generic fossil buff. Increases damage dealt by 25%, can all be held by fossils. We've got them here on a bit of a corner area. I'm hoping that this little bit on the left here is able to catch some Pokemon. Next to them, we've got Omastar, 505 power at 1.4 seconds. So not the fastest, but it's still pretty decent in terms of that. They've got 210 range, which is really good. They attack in an area, so any Pokemon caught in this blue circle will be damaged each time they attack. And they've got the Swift Swim, that's why their recharge time is reduced. And the Helix Fossil, something that's unique to them, increases range by 10 for each fossil Pokemon on the team. So that's where they're getting the extra 70 range from, because we are running 7 fossils. Don't forget, Legion does count as a fossil. Rampardos here. Power of 2,500. Recharge time of under 2 seconds. Critical hit of 20%. Really not that high. A range not really that big at 120. Rockhead increases damage by 5% for each missing heart, so this can only go up from here. Rocky Helmet doubles Rampardos damage boost from 5% to 10% per missing heart. So if we have lost, say, 10 out of our 14 hearts, this will deal 100% more damage, which is 5,000 damage per hit. That's why the recharge time is pretty high on them. I've put them here at the very end in order to hopefully pick off any stragglers that have made it through the entire path here, and to just finish them off. Hopefully, anyway. We've got Gyarados. We need a bit of anti-armor. There will be armored units soon, as the waves tick up. They've got Armor Break Slash. Projectiles explode in an area, dealing half damage to nearby enemies and dealing double damage to armor with 1,350 power. That's nothing to laugh at. They do have a pretty big recharge time, unfortunately, at basically 4 seconds. Critical hit chance shouldn't even exist. But they have increased range thanks to the old rod. One thing to take note of is their shape is a ring. That's why they're here kind of in the middle of nowhere, because their dead zone doesn't really touch the map a whole lot. There is a bit here on the south, and then there is this corner top left. But for the most part, they are hitting, I would say, a good 75-80% of the map here. And even though their attack speed is pretty high or pretty low, depending on how you look at it, with the coverage, they should be hitting high armored units everywhere. At least that's what my hope is. Totem Pole is still here. They are simply the best anti-invis, in my opinion, as long as there is a mountain. Vigilant Frisk doubles the range if it's in the mountains, can hit invisible enemies. And then the Silph Scope, you can ignore the first part because they have true sight. The Silph Scope gives them increased range and increased power. So that's where the almost 500 damage is coming from. Recharge time of less than a second. And then a range of 450. They are prioritizing invisible enemies. So that's what that range looks like. A good, I say, first half of the map is able to be hit by them. And then Takoyaki here in the sad corner. As you can see, they can pretty much hit the entire map. There's like a little gap up here up top, but I don't think it matters very much. 860 damage, recharge time of 2.5 seconds, so pretty slow. That means they attack once every 2.5 seconds. Critical hit chance, not bad. A bit higher than 1 in 3. Their range is incredible though. 600 range, that's why they are able to cover the entire map, as it were. They are stuck to targeting random, unfortunately. That's because of the Spin to Cocktail. Increases the attacker's range by 25%, but makes the user target random enemies. They do have splash damage though, so even though they are hitting random enemies, it is random pseudo AoE. But yeah, that's what I've cooked up for this route. I don't think this is going to make it to wave 100. Let me make that clear right now. But I've always wanted to do a full team of fossils, so here it is. Let's see how far this team will take. So we've got our first invisible wave at wave 6. These are the Kecleons, I believe. Yes, invisible enemies. They're pretty fast. 601 health. I believe they can be insta-killed with Totem Pole. Oh, just about. So they'll live after the first hit, but we have power overwhelming with the rest of these Pokemons. So it shouldn't take that much to get rid of the rest of them. More invisible waves, just 4 waves down. Meteors are a bit scary with 24,000 armor. Thankfully, we do have Gyarados here to be able to deal with a bit of armor. They have gotten down to like this, I guess we'll call it a bridge. They have gotten down to this bridge area with their armor on, but honestly, that's more of a Gyarados attack speed issue than anything. This is pretty much why I don't think this team won't make it to wave 100. They just have too high of a cooldown in order to take out everything. But let's keep going. Let's see how far this will take us. We have lost 1 health thanks to a Kecleon being able to essentially fly through the map and get out of Totem Pole's range before it can be hit, which is very unfortunate. We're already 1 health down, but each health we lose does increase Rampardos' damage, so that is something. Let's just keep going. More invisible waves. I don't think we've ever faced Politoed before. They do have a bit of regen. Their speed is higher than normal. And they resist burn, which I guess is pretty funny since Politoed, I believe it's their hidden ability that calls in the rain, which if you played regular Pokemon, lowers fire damage. So that's kind of cool. Gliscor has 17,000 health, which is a bit formidable. They also have regen and resist poison. Luckily, we don't use poison, but the health regen might be an issue, as well as the almost 20,000 health. Let's see how far we get. So unfortunately, we couldn't get past wave 50. We died at wave 45, which is a lot sooner than I thought we would. We're obviously gonna hit retry here. Is there anything we can do in order to make this a little bit better? I want to keep going with this team. I think they can make it to 50. Maybe we just mess with a bit of the with the targeting system or move some Pokemon around. What if we, because you can already hit 2 enemies at once, what if we move you and give Armaldo here more of an area to deal with? I think that should be the first thing. Maybe. Or maybe they should go down here. It should really be like high damaging targets up top, I think. We'll put both of them here. We'll put Armaldo down here. What else can we do here? Dilly, you can't really change the targeting with. Omastar heals in an area. I honestly think this is like the best spot for them, just based on location and how much damage they can do. Gyarados is pretty much stuck in the same place. Takoyaki's pretty much stuck in the same place. Totem Pole needs this mountain area. Maybe the Bastiodon and Rampardos can swap. And then Bastiodon can start targeting high health instead. They are dealing 3,500. So maybe they're able to knock off some health from the Pokemon passing by. And then Bastiodon's AoE is able to like finish it off. Maybe that's something. Dilly has the highest area out of all of them, right? 160. Bastiodon is, yes, 140. So they have to be there in order to make use of this like L turn. We could also try swapping out their held items, but honestly, I kind of like them having their own specific one, just to be in theme with it. Maybe Legion uses... Oh, but you lose too much damage though, and you don't gain much in terms of attack speed. Yeah, the minor changes maybe makes a difference. Let's find out. Okay, that was even worse than what we had in the first place. So let's just reload this. Yeah, we're gonna have to just get rid of their own personal items. As unfortunate as it is. Bastiodon's holding the Carbos. What happens when we give you the Adrenaline Orb? I mean, this just makes you go faster and faster. We are going to be losing health, so I think that's fine. Rampardos, I don't think needs more damage. I'm pretty sure you could use a bit of attack speed. So what if we give you the Carbos instead? Ooh, that's not really much in terms of attack speed though. Negative 28. If we give you the Adrenaline Orb instead, and then we stick to the Carbos on Bastiodon, maybe? Greydilly's item gives them damage. I think that's fine. You can't use the silk scarf anyways, so there's no point of changing that. I think Omastar is okay. I like the idea of the whatchamacallit, the increased range, and they already have increased attack speed by being on the water. Kabutops has 100% crit, and they already attack fast. That's okay. Legion's fine as well. Armaldo increases damage dealt. That's fine. Gyarados has increased range, but I feel like you should have increased attack speed instead. But we don't really have any other increased attack speed aside from the Quick Claw. And that will pull you away from hitting high attack targets, because you're gonna start attacking. Is there any sort of CC in the water? Low water, Whiscash and Corsola. Which is basically just Corsola. So we could have double Corsola now. That's not good. Whiscash can only be put in the water, whereas Corsola, Field, Water, Mountain. Corsola does have a ring though, which is something to keep in mind. But where would we even put you? I don't think that's it. Is there... We could do Iha's Bucket? Or a Stun? The cross is kind of terrible though. We didn't really change anything, is the issue here. So I'm guessing the whole fossil thing might not be the best idea. I guess let's just retire them and actually pick a good team. We still need... Okay, so it's gonna be more water-based. That's for certain. Golduck is good. Corsola is good. I think Gyarados for anti-armor is still decent. Although we shouldn't give them range anymore. I think if we keep Omastar, Kabutops, and Armaldo, they can still have a bit of a synergy in terms of fossils. I think Octillery is fine. The area that it covers is pretty good. So where is everyone gonna stand? Golduck can have here. I like Omastar being here. Gyarados still behind them. Except instead of range, can you like start hitting 2? Your damage goes down, but then the AoE explosion, and now you're hitting 2 projectiles. Maybe more than makes up for it. No, you need cooldown. You honestly need cooldown. So like Carbos knocks it down by a second. Is honestly pretty terrible. But we'll do that for now anyway. Legolas can have... Like, this isn't bad. You cover quite a bit. Not much of a dead zone. That's okay. Light Clay is okay for you. What have we done so far? These 4? And then Kabutops I still think is up here. You don't have 100% crit anymore. You're down to what, like 80? And then Armaldo has less damage. This is just plus 15%. But we could put you up here too. Yeah, you don't reach that area. And then Takoyaki can still have this corner. What else? We've got 3 more spots. Totem Pole comes back. We need the anti-invis. That leaves 2 more spots. 2 more spots that can hopefully murder on the ground. Maybe Lighthouse? Lighthouse with the Quick Claw can stun a pretty good amount. I like that. And then to cap it all off, we could do Lucario? Lucario isn't bad, plus it's AoE. Pretty big AoE as well. Let's try this, it can't be worse. Everybody have a held item? Yes? Okay, cool. So the issues are the Flygons, which cannot be stunned, and they deal 2 damage each time they pass through. So it's not Ampharos that we need. We either do Ferrothorn that does 175, or we do Aegislash that does 225, and I think it's Aegislash. We'll go Aegislash. We'll give them... I think... Oh, but their area isn't that big though. 170, or that's the attack speed. What am I looking for? 150 in range, and then Ferrothorn is 140. So Aegislash does have a bigger range than Ferrothorn. But that means they shouldn't be in that area. What is your range? 160? So then it would be like this, so you can hit them as they come in and are being slowed by Corsola. I could also move Corsola up here. Keep it away from the other slow. They do have a bit of a dead zone now, which is unfortunate, but they can slow a little bit further at the start rather than trying to slow later down the line because we already have Aegislash. The other thing too, we could like do this. But then Gyarados' area is kind of terrible. We would then have to take out Gyarados and put in something that can deal armor damage. Unfortunately, Gyarados is the only one that can stand in the water to deal armor damage. So that's a bit of an annoyance. If we put you here and give you... Instead of Carbos, we give you back your fishing rod. What's that area look like? Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. You can still attack at the beginning. Yeah, we'll try this. Everybody have something? Yes? Good? No? Excalibur does not have anything. We will give you... I don't think you need attack speed. So we'll give you damage. Helix Fossil? Or Helix Fossil. Badge of Honor gives you 68 damage. Blue Bandana, you have no crit, so that's worthless. Nothing else really gives you damage. We could give you 15 damage with the protein. Cooldown from this, 1.5. We could give you less than a second recharge time, but there goes your damage. Does it make up for it? I have no idea. Let's stick with the Badge of Honor for now. I think this is fine. Let's hit auto and keep going. we at least made it to the wave 50 checkpoint, so that's good. I'm happy. That's gonna be it for this episode. As always, I've been Free99. You've all been amazing. I'll catch you next time.